Hi, everyone. Welcome again to IV English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today we have an article for you entitled The Impact of Language.
中文标题是语言如何形塑我们的想法。
Well, I'm sure we are all aware of the impact of language in one way or another. There's no way that we can communicate with other people without language. Even if you can't talk or hear or see, we have developed ways for people to communicate with each other nonetheless. That's how important language is. I'll read through the article first, and then we'll go back to reread each sentence and then give you the explanation as well as a translation. Most people think language exists to help us express our thoughts and opinions. But what if you flip that around? Are our ideas impacted by the specific language we speak? If you listen to Lera Boroditsky's TED Talk, How Language Shapes the Way We Think, you'll get the answer to that question. A professor of cognitive science, Lera Boroditsky, examines the relationships between the mind, the world, and language. In her lecture, she notes that humans are remarkable for their ability to transmit vast quantities of information to one another. Not only that, but we have about 7,000 different languages, and while most people are familiar with the fact that various languages have their own unique vocabularies and grammatical structures, the impact that one's language has on the way a person thinks or reasons is often overlooked. One instance in which words directly affect thoughts can be found in languages that use gendered nouns. In German, the word bridge is grammatically feminine, but in Spanish, it is masculine. As Boroditsky notes, when asked to describe bridges, German speakers will be more apt to refer to them as beautiful or elegant, whereas Spanish speakers will designate them as strong and tough. The way we arrange things can also be determined by our language. Cultures that have words for left and right will tend to organize things from left to right or vice versa. However, an Aboriginal tribe that doesn't have these words uses directions, north, south, east, and west. They greet one another with, "Which way are you going?" They also lay out time based on their orientation with the landscape. Facing east, time will move towards them, while looking west, time moves away. That's just a few examples of how thinking differently originates from the words we have to use.
So, most people think that language exists to help us express our thoughts and opinions. So we think the main point of language is telling other people what we think.
大多数的人认为呢，语言存在language exists， 目的是 help us 帮我们 express our thoughts and opinions， 帮我们表达我们的思考跟表达我们的意见。大多数人觉得语言是表达的工具但是其实不是这样子的，语言会影响我们的思考的。
But what if you flipped that around? What if you turned it around, looked at it from the opposite point of view?
对 flip 就是 to turn over quickly， 通常是很快的翻过来所以这个地方就像我们讲的，大家都觉得语言是表达思考的工具，但是我们如果把它转过来呢， flip that around 就是我们把它转过来，也就是说是不是语言会影响我们的思考呢？而不是说我们有一个思考在那边，既定的思考用一个语言来表达，会不会说我们的语言其实会影响我们的思考呢？
Well, if you flipped it around, originally we're saying that language helps us talk or language helps us express. But if you flip it around, is it that our ideas are influenced or impacted by how we express or by the specific language we speak?
Yeah.所以这个地方其实就我刚刚已经讲出答案，就是他这里在问说，我们的想法是不是 our ideas 是不是 are they impacted 被影响到，被什么影响呢？ by the specific language we speak， 我们的想法是不是被我们所说的那个特定的语言所影响呢？
If you listen to Lera Boroditsky's TED Talk, How Language Shapes the Way We Think, you'll get the answer to that question. What question? The question of the last sentence. Are our ideas impacted by the specific language we speak? Well, a TED Talk was given by Lera Boroditsky, and the title of the talk was How Language Shapes the Way We Think. And if you listen to that, you will better understand which way, or is it both ways, that language and our thinking influence each other.
好，所以你如果听这个 Lera Boroditsky 他的这个 TED Talk 题目是 How Language Shapes the Way We Think 语言是如何形塑我们的思考，你去听这个 TED Talk 的话呢，你就会 you will get the answer to that question 注意那介系词 to an answer to a question 好，那当然这个语言跟思考之间其实不是单向的是语言会影响思考，思考也会影响语言。
A professor of cognitive science, Lera Boroditsky examines the relationship between the mind, the world, and language. Cognitive science is the study of how we think. And you can't study how people think without studying language, and you can't also study how we think without studying what we think about. So it has to be a relationship between our mind, the world that we live in, and the language that we express about it with.
好，所以呢，这个地方同一个，他告诉你也是一个分词构句省略了being 省略掉了，他是一个 professor 教授是什么样？是 cognitive science 就认知科学的教授他 examines 他检视the relationships between the 这些东西之间的关系，那因为不会是只有一个关系，所以 relationships 是加 s 的。他检视什么的关系呢 ？The mind 就是我们的思维 ，the world 就是这个世界，还有 language 这三个之间的彼此的关联。
In her lecture, she notes that humans are remarkable for their ability to transmit vast quantities of information to one another. So this lecture is the talk, the TED Talk. She notes that. She makes a point of talking about how much information humans transmit or send and receive to each other in the simple act of conversation.
好 ，she notes， notes 就是这个提到了一个点的意思to mention something 的意思，这个蛮正式的一个字。她 notes that humans 人类 are remarkable remarkable 就是非凡的 unusual 或者 extraordinary for 为什么很 remarkable 呢？因为 for 表示原因，因为人类有 ability 有能力来 transmit 传递或者传送。好，那这个 transmit 就是 send out 的意思基本上就是 send out 或者是这个 pass information to other people， 人类可以传递传送 vast quantities of vast 是 extremely large quantities 就是数量所以 vast quantities of something 各位可以把它学起来，就表示大量的什么东西那它后面它可以这里接的是不可数名词 information vast quantities of information 那可以传送大量的资讯给谁呢 to one another 彼此可以传送大量的资讯给彼此
Not only that, but we have about 7,000 different languages. And there's been more, of course, in the history of the world.
Yeah. Not only that, 不只是这样子我们不但有办法用语言来传送我们不但能够传送大量的知识而且呢，我们人类还创造出了大概有7000种不同的语言所以这个是非常不容易的。当然，这里面很多这个比较小的语言都慢慢在消失当中。
And while most people are familiar with the fact that various languages have their own unique vocabularies and grammatical structures, the impact that one's language has on the way a person thinks or reasons is often overlooked. So most people know, of course, that there are different languages. Maybe you didn't know there were that many, or some people would say now there are that few. There used to be many more. They know that one kind of language has its own vocabulary, of course, and even grammatical structures, but there's more to it. The impact that one's language has, the language you use, has an impact on the way you think, not just talk, but the way you think or the way you reason. It's a two-way street. We react to our world through language, but language may actually...
Structure.
Sorry?
Structure.
Yeah,
the way we react.
Exactly. we may have preconceived ways to consider what reality is, and those ways are given to us by the structure of our language that we use.
好，所以我们可以看到说 while most people 大多数的人 are familiar with the fact that 对于这个事件对于这个事实非常的熟悉，叫做 are familiar with the fact that that 的子句就是这个 the fact 的同位格那我们大家都很了解什么事情呢？都了解到说 various languages have their own unique vocabularies 那不同的语言有他们自己独特的这个智慧and grammatical structures， 还有他们独特的这个文法结构叫 grammatical structures。 那这里要特别注意这个 vocabulary 这个字这个字大家记得通常它是不加 s 的，因为 vocabulary 它指的是某一个语言所有的字的集合，所以一个语言只有一个 vocabulary 那但在这里他谈到不同的语言所以有不同的，所以因为不同的语言每一个语言都有一个 vocabulary 那所以不同的语言就会变成复数的 vocabularies， 这里指的是不同语言的不同 sets of words 所以各位一定要记得 vocabulary 这个是通常不会加 s 所以你说我要背生字，你也不会说 I want to memorize vocabularies 那就绝对不对的不能这样讲所以每一个人每一个语言只有一个 vocabulary。 好，所以在这个地方呢，这个每一个语言有他们 unique vocabulary， 这里用复数，但其实用单数也是可以的那就是强调说每一个语言它只有一套的这个文字，它的单字所以虽然是这样子，每一个语言有独特的智慧，有他们的独特的结构 the impact 那就是影响 that one's language has， 你的语言所具有的那个影响，对于什么的影响呢？ on the way a person thinks or reasons， 对于一个人思考或者是这个推理的方式的影响呢 is often overlooked， 通常会被忽略掉，就大家都没有注意到。 overlook 就是忽略掉或者是没有注意到所以这个是其实一开始我就开始在暗示各位，其实语言会影响思考，因为事实上有的人会说你如果没有那个语言你就没有办法做那样的思考，你没有那样子的 vocabulary 你就没有办法做那样的思考，所以 English vocabulary 这很多人讲说很重要，因为你要一个智慧量大的一个人呢，他可以比较做精密的思考，因为英文有很多字意思都很像，但是都有一点 slight differences， 你如果能够知道这些字，你就知道如何去描述那些很细微的区别的东西但是你如果没有那个智慧，你没有那个语言，你可能就没办法做那么精密的思考了。
So one instance in which words directly affect thoughts can be found in languages that use gendered nouns. And the interesting thing is that all of Europe tends to use gendered nouns. I mean, all of European languages do. The only exception is English. Yes. Why did English escape this tendency? Because why? Why would you gender your nouns? Is not life complicated enough already? Just needed to get that out of my system. Like, English is bad. I will agree with you. But we don't have gendered nouns. Please be grateful, okay? Now, but the fact that nouns are gendered in many European languages really affects how people think about everyday objects.
所以 one instance 有一个例子 in which 在这个例子里面呢 words directly affect 字会直接的影响到 thoughts 影响到思考的一个例子 can be found 可以被发现，可以在哪里找到呢？ in languages that use gendered nouns gendered nouns 就是会区分性别的所以这个其实刚刚就像 Angela 讲，这个欧洲语言几乎所有的语言，所有的欧洲语言呢，它的名词甚至于这个形容词有的时候都会区分性别所以它底下就会举例子那这个英文的大家可能觉得英文学起来很头大但至少英文有一个好处就是它没有 gendered nouns 英文的名词不会分性别的那这个中文当然我们的名词也不分性别的所以这个是很有趣的一个现象。那我们等一下看看他给我们的例子是什么例子。
Okay, let's continue. In German, the word bridge is grammatically feminine. This refers to this gendered noun. The noun bridge is dealt with as a feminine noun, but in Spanish, it is masculine. Don't ask me why. Don't ask them why. They don't know either.
所以这个很有趣他说在德文里面呢，桥这个字呢，在文法上面是阴性的但在西班牙文呢，在文法上面桥是这个阳性的 masculine 就是阳性的，那这个阴性跟阳性呢，在这些语言里面它是硬性规定的没有什么理由的。好，那我们刚刚讲到这个英文没有这个 gendered nouns， 可能有的人会说那 这个 she 跟 he 不是有 gender， 但是那个是 pronoun 啊，所以英文的
talking
pronoun
about actual people
yeah
who have sex differences
yeah
which are gendered.
Yeah， 所以英文的这个会分啊，中文其实它原本是没有分的啊，男生女生都是用那个人字旁的他啊，但是到了我记得是在19世纪还是20世纪才出现的那个女字旁的那个他啊，作为区分。
I think it's because y'all were exposed to gendered languages and thought, oh, we should try that. Please don't do it though. Please just go back to ta with 人字旁. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And ta also for the gods.
Oh, that's another one.
That's a different
well, see, gods and people, it's separate categories. Makes sense. But, men, women, we're all people. You don't need to distinguish.
And that's why animal also has a different ta.
Yeah. 所以这个有没有 gender 这个我们也要庆幸一下，中文至少单纯的多了哈。那所以英文啊，这个它的发展上面是后来因为很复杂的元素，所以英文就慢慢简化。像这个英文那个字尾加 ed 啊，还有它的动词，英文的动词变化，其实在古英语里面非常的严重啊。古英语的这动词变化非常的复杂。跟这个很多现在这个欧洲语言一样，但是后来慢慢因为很多原因，所以英文觉得我们不要那么复杂啊，所以动词变化就比较简单的，就是一般的规则动词加 ed 啊，就这样子。
Yeah. So, we talked about that in German, bridge is feminine, and in Spanish, it is masculine. So, as Broditsky notes, when asked to describe bridges, German speakers will be more apt to refer to them as beautiful or elegant, whereas Spanish speakers will designate them as strong and tough. And that is because we have gender roles in society, where we associate certain qualities with things that are gendered masculine and certain qualities with things that are gendered feminine. And so we think of feminine things as beautiful and elegant and weak and nice and emotional, and we think of masculine things as strong and tough and curt and, all these authoritative, manly things. And these are gender roles. These are qualities ascribed to gender, which then people then put onto nouns or objects because of their gender assumptions. So German people think of bridges as feminine, and so they think of them as beautiful and elegant. And Spanish speakers think of bridges as masculine, so they describe them as strong and tough. Yeah. It's just an excessive amount of thinking that we could just cut out.
Yeah， 好，那这个地方呢，其实有一个很重要的，这个因素蛮复杂的。除了语言分性别之外呢，另外还要牵涉到就是社会上的这个一般的观念，对于性别的一些这个刻板概念啊。所以女生大概都是漂亮啊、优雅啊，那男生呢可能要 strong 要 tough。好，所以呢，因为这些原因，所以我们这里讲到说，这个说德文的人呢 will be more apt to， 就是更容易、更常如何。这个 be apt to 就天性就很容易如何的意思啊 ，have a tendency， 通常是个 natural tendency to do something。所以德文的这个使用德文的人呢，就比较容易 refer to them 啊，就是指涉到 refer， 指涉到桥啊，然后呢，就是讲德文的人讲到桥的时候，通常会讲到他们很 beautiful、很 elegant。但是呢 ，whereas 对比来讲，说西班牙文的人呢，他们会 designate， 他们会表示或者标明啊这个桥啊，因为他们是把它看成是个阳性的名词，所以他们认为桥是怎么样？是 strong， 是很强壮 ，tough， 啊，很这个坚韧这种感觉。
The way we arrange things can also be determined by our language, and we have an excellent example coming up.
那我们arrange things， 我们安排事情的这个方法呢，也会被 determined， 被决定，被我们的语言所决定。
So, cultures that have words for left or right will tend to organize things from left to right or vice versa. Vice versa means the other way around.
那如果这个文化它有这个左右这两个字的话呢，就它会有这个左右两个字，而且他们就有这个概念，那他们就会怎么样？会 organize things， 他们这个归纳事情或者是组织事情的时候呢，他们就会从 left to right， 从左边到右边，或者是 vice versa， 或者是右边到左边。最明显的例子就是我们写那个 description 的时候，我们如果在 describe a room 的话英文也是一样，因为有 left right， 所以你要描写一个房间的话，通常他会说你要找一个点，你可以从左边描写到右边，也可以从右边描写到左边。
However, an Aboriginal tribe, that is a tribe of what some people call a primitive group of people, non-technological.
Original people.
Original, native, and so on, that doesn't have these words for left and right, uses directions, north, south, east, and west. And instead of saying it's to your left, they might say it's to your west.
That's actually way more precise. I wish
Right?
people
There are
would
four
do
directions.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. 但是呢 an Aboriginal tribe 就是一个原住民的 tribe 是部落that doesn't have these words 没有这个左跟右这两个字的原住民部落呢，他们就会用什么？用方向这个东西南北这个方向。
Like in English, you'd be like, on your left. No, your other left.
像英文说在你左边是你另外一个左边因为左边右边有时候是看是说话人左边右边还是这个听话的人左边右边有时候搞不清楚呀。
So I wish people would be like, it's north. You'd be like, oh, I know where north is. So what they do in this tribe is they greet one another with, which way are you going? Which is also a really fantastic thing. I mean, in Chinese, you say, have you eaten? In English, we say, how are you feeling? Here, they say, which way are you going?
所以呢他们打招呼的时候呢他们会问说你要往哪边走因为他们用东西南北这概念来看他们的世界。
They also lay out time based on their orientation with the landscape. Lay out time is to measure time or record time or think of time as something. And that is not according to a clock, but what position they have. What is their orientation with the landscape, the land around them? So where are you going? I'm heading to the big rock. And so how long will it take you? Well, you know how long it takes to walk to the rock instead of using digits of time.
所以他们也会 lay out time, 就是他们配置或者编排或者他们这个思考时间呢是 based on 基于他们的 orientation 就是方位或者方向 with the landscape 跟地景上面的这个方位来这个思考他们时间，也就是他们的这个时间是看他们会用地景上的那个点大概应该是这个意思，用地景上的点来表示时间所以这个中文也有类似，但中文是例如说两炷香的时间，这个很有趣两炷香的时间就是the time it takes to burn out or burn through 2 incense sticks.
Oh, yeah.
所以两炷香因为用物体用两炷香用一个动作来表示这个时间，所以这个地方他们不是用动作，他们是用地景来表达时间。
But there's another way to lay out time. Like, I think they're talking about time in general, not the time it takes to do something. So, like in English, we lay out time like this. We think of as the future is in front of us. We lay out time in terms of personal relationship to our body. So the future is in front of us and the past is behind us. And in speaking to Taiwanese speakers, I've discovered that it's the opposite for Chinese. The future is behind you and the past is in front of you.
Because you can see the past.
Well, there's
that's
that.
one theory.
That's one theory, yeah. But I mean, it really explains a lot about the differences between Chinese and Western or English-speaking culture, especially with regards to time. And I only found this out because of the way people gesture.
Yeah.
But then what this tribe does is they think of time as a physical feature of the landscape and not in relation to their personal body. So we do left-right, personal body, and they do left-right based on north, south, east, west. And we do time front-back, and they do time east. Time is moving towards them, and west, time moves away.
好，所以这个地方呢，这 Angela 讲这个 layout time 另外一个意思是你对于时间的这个概念是怎么样。例如说中文讲500年前是在我们的眼前面，可是英文的话是怎么样 5 years back
Yeah.
是到这个事实上都在后所以这个就是我们的 way we layout time is different 这个很有趣中文的500年前是英文要用 back， 那500年后中文的后其实在我们的 back， 可是500年后其实是 in the future所以这个是跟时间的关系。Yeah.
So in this tribe, facing east is the future and west is the past.
Yeah. 所以在对于这个部落来讲呢，你面向东边的话呢，就是这个时间会朝着他们过来那应该感觉就是往未来去的。那 looking west， 你如果看西边的话呢，时间是离开你，就是感觉那应该是过去的时间。
I wonder what they think about north and south in terms of time.
Yeah， 所以他们这个南跟北不知道跟时间有怎么样的这个思考方式。
Okay, let's finish up. That's just a few examples of how thinking differently originates from the words we have to use. That's the impact of language, both on how we use the language, and maybe you could say we are used by the language that we use to perceive things in particular ways. If you're more interested in this topic, I will recommend the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. This comes from anthropology, 人类学. SAPIR. This is anthropologist Xing. So 大写的 S, and then WHORF, usually with a little 短线 between them. Hypothesis. This is their picture of what's going on in terms of exactly what we talked about today, the influence of language on people and how they perceive things.
Yeah, 刚刚 Bruce 老师讲的是语言学上非常有名的一个学说啊，当然后来很多人挑战它啊，质疑它，但是基本上它的概念就是东方人或者不同语言的人，他的思考方式不一样啊，像东方人的思考可能是螺旋形的。好，那西方人思考是直线型的，例如这样的一些说法啊，所以很值得大家去进一步的探究。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Join us anytime. We're waiting for you.